Okay, today we're going to do division of rational numbers. All right, last week we talked about multiplication of rational numbers, which means we were multiplying what type of numbers? Huh? Fractions. Okay, so today we're dividing what type of numbers? Fractions. All right, so we know we're going to be doing a lot with fractions today. It's going to be very similar to what we did last week. Okay, so first thing we're going to look at is just how to find a multiplicative inverse. Now, multiplicative inverse is just a fancy word that means what?
Opposite.
Okay, kind of.
Oh, it's whenever you switch the fraction upside down.
Yeah, just when you switch the fraction. Now, there's another math word we use for that. It starts with an R.
Reverse cycle.
Cycle. Reciprocal. Not recycle. Okay. Hey, this is what I was just talking about. Okay, you don't need to write that down. Okay. So, on your work, it's going to ask you to find a multiplicative inverse. All that means is you're going to flip the fraction. Okay. So, Tanner, what would you tell me is the multiplicative inverse of 7 over 16? If all you're doing is flipping the fraction.
Oh, 16 over 7.
There you go. Okay. All right. Kyle, what about the multiplicative inverse of negative 7/9? Say it again. Yeah, you can just say negative 9/7 because the negative just stays in front. It doesn't go with a specific number. Okay? Now, what if your number looks like this? What should you do first, Deja?
You would change it to an improper fraction.
Okay, do that for me, please.
So you would do 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19, negative 19 over 3.
Okay, now can you find its multiplicative inverse?
Negative 3 over 19.
Good. Okay, what about 2 and 1/12? Kai?
Do 2 times 12, which is 24, plus 1, which is 25, over 12.
Now can you find the inverse?
Yeah, it's 12 over 25.
Okay. All right, last one. What about the number 3?
3 over 1.
Good, Noah. Then what's the inverse?
1 over 1.
Very good. Okay. Easy enough, yes? Now, can anyone tell me why would we talk about multiplicative inverse right before we talk about division of fractions? Why would we talk about flipping that fraction, Cutter?
Because when you do division, you flip the fractions and then switch them.
Right. Does anyone remember those 3 letters that we used to help us know division of fractions? KCF, what they stand for? Keep, change, flip. Okay? So, hey, stay with me. Remember, when we talk about division of fractions, we're going to use keep, change, flip. Okay? So, let's look at 1/9 divided by 5/12. Now, when we write out keep, change, flip, you don't have to write this every time, but I'm just writing this to show you. How many letters are written there?
3.
Okay, how many things do you see in this problem? 3. Don't you think each of those letters is telling you what to do with each of those 3 things? Yes. You keep what?
The first fraction.
Keep the first fraction the same. Okay? You change from division to multiplication, and then you flip the second fraction. Okay? So, listen, you guys, some people were getting confused on this today. KCF, keep, change, flip. You keep the first fraction, change to multiplication, you flip the second fraction. Then, these problems are exactly like what we did last week, right? What should you check for before multiplying, Tanner? What should I check for before I multiply? Okay, is everything simplified here? Cross simplified? No, what can you simplify, Tanner?
9, 12.
Okay, what's 9 divided by 3?
3.
And 12 divided by 3?
4.
Okay, Tanner, go ahead and multiply across and tell me what you get.
1 times 4 equals 4. 3 times 5 equals 15. So 4 15.
Can I simplify that any further?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, Hunter. What about 5/8 divided by -3/4?
You would keep it, so then change the division.
Keep what?
5/8.
Okay,
Change the division to times,
good.
and then parentheses, -4/3.
So flip that last fraction, okay? Keep the first, change multiplication, flip our second, all right? Then before multiplying, I always check what, Hunter?
Let me see if it's simple.
What can you simplify here
The 8/4.
to get what?
1 and 2. So
Okay, all right, go ahead and multiply and tell me what you would get.
5, 6. What? Yeah. 5, 6.
How do you know it's a negative, Hunter?
Odd negative.
Good. Different signs, answer is negative, okay? All right, Ruby, what about 3/7 divided by 8?
First you have to put 8/1.
Very good, because you always have to have two fractions before you can keep, change, flip. Okay, go ahead.
You would keep the 3/7. Change the division sign to multiplication.
Very good.
And then split 1 and 8/1.
Good. Flip our second fraction. Okay. All right. Is there anything here, Ruby, you can cross simplify?
No.
No. So multiply to get what?
3/56.
Very good. 3/56. Can you simplify 3/56?
No.
Now, how do you know if 56 is divisible by 3? Can anybody tell me, Deja?
Well, because 3 can go into 60, and then -3 is
Okay, but what's our rule to know if a number is divisible by 3?
Oh,
Do you guys know this? Add them together. What's 5 plus 6?
11.
Is 11 divisible by 3? That means 56 is not either. Okay?
Oh.
It works with 9 also. Okay? Like if you add a number like 123, no, 126. Okay? What's 1 plus 2? 3. What's 3 plus 6?
9.
Is 9 divisible by 9?
Yes.
So then 126 is also, okay? It's a good thing, it's a good rule for you to know, because a lot of times we forget that, okay? All right, Jack, we're gonna do -4 2/3, and we're dividing that by 3 1/9. Okay, can you tell me what the first thing I would need to do is?
You need to change them into, what's it called, improper fractions.
Very good, so change those to improper fractions for me, please.
The first one's negative.
Tell me how you're doing it.
4 times 3 is
4
12,
times 3 is 12,
plus 2 is 14.
okay, add
Plus
2.
-14/3.
Good,
And then 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. 28/9.
okay. So now I have two fractions because I can't keep change flip with whole numbers or mixed numbers, right? Okay, all right, go for it.
So you keep -14/3. You change it to multiplication, and you make it 9/20.
Good. Okay, before I multiply, I'm always going to check for cross simplifying. What do you see that you can simplify?
14 and 28. 14 goes to 1, and 28 goes to 2.
Very good.
9 goes to 3, and 3 goes to 1.
Okay,
So it's 3/2. -3/2.
all right, Jack, do I want to leave -3/2 as my answer?
No,
How should I write that?
you -1 and 1/2.
Very good. Okay. All right, let's do a word problem. Let's say you have a dog that eats 3 3/4 cups of food per day. All right, and you bought a bag of food that has 165 cups. And you want to know how many days will this last? Now, you got to be really careful about how we set this up, okay? Can anyone tell me how I would set up this problem if I have a bag of food that has 165 cups and I'm giving my dog 3 3/4 cups of food each day? Katie,
165
how do you know that you would start with 165?
because the
not because it's the largest. Because here's the deal. Eventually you're going to run into a problem where it's not the largest number that goes first. It's because it's the total amount that you have. Okay? All right? Because here's the deal. Think about this. What if you have 2 pizzas and you're wanting to know how much that can split between 10 people? Does it make sense to do 10 divided by 2 because 10 is the larger number? No, right? You need to start with 2 because you have 2 pizzas and divide those among the 10 people. That's why I'm trying to get you to see how we've got to think about the word problem, okay? Think about it. I have a total of 165 cups and I'm taking out 3 3/4 each day. So doesn't that make sense that you should divide by 3 3/4?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right, Katie, can you go and tell me how I'd set this up and solve?
Okay, so 165 over 1, and 3 3/4 turns to an improper fraction of 15 over 4,
Okay.
and we're gonna simplify, see if anything we simplify, no.
Do I simplify on this step or I have a step to do first?
Oh wait, so keep changing.
There we go. Good.
165 over 1 times 4 over 15.
Now, you know you can simplify 165 and 15 because they both end in a 5, so they're definitely divisible by what number? 5. But what bigger number should you check? 15. Somebody check that. See if 15 is divisible by 165 is divisible by 16. 15, sorry.
Wait.
It is,
Yeah,
in
it
fact,
is.
divisible by 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you get? 11. Okay, keep going, Katie.
11 times 4 is 44, and times 1, so you change it to 44.
Good, because we never leave a fraction over 1. So, how many days is this bag of food going to last me? 44. Now, here's the deal. Here's what I want you guys to see. Is it possible that someone in this room, on their own, would have written 3 3/4 divided by 165? Yes. Okay? Somebody, Cutter, in your calculator, do 3.75 divided by 165. 165, yeah.
Oh.
What do you get?
I'll repeat it.
Well, tell me, what number is it?
0.0227.
Yeah, 0.0227. So what that's saying is it wouldn't even last you 1 day. Now, if you were using fractions, you're going to get a fraction like 1 over, I don't know, like 70, 80, a big number like that. So just think about that, right? Let's say you were doing this problem on your own. You set it up wrong. You got 1 over 83. Would that make sense that it lasts 1/83 of a day? No, right? Because we know if you have 165 cups and you're taking out 3 3/4, it's got to last a while, okay? So I know a lot of us don't really like word problems, but here's the great thing about a word problem is that you can use common sense to help you know if your answer is correct or not. Yes? So just think about those things, all right? Last thing I want you to think about. Okay, here we go. We're going to do 2 examples on this. 5 over 3ab divided by 15 over ABC. Okay. Anybody want to try this one? It's not difficult. Okay, go for it, Chastity. Do I already have 2 fractions? Yes. So what should be my first step? We did it on all the other ones. There we go. Okay. So what are you keeping?
5 over 3ab.
Change to
Multiplication.
flip.
ABC over 6.
Okay. All right. Before we multiply, you should always check what, Chastity? Okay. What all can you simplify here?
5. Yeah, 5 divided by 6 is 1 and then 8.
Okay. What else can you simplify? Yeah, AB, right? If you have an AB on the top and an AB on the bottom. Okay, so now I'm multiplying. 1 times C is just going to give me 1C or just C, right? I don't really need the 1. What about 3 times 3? 9.
How would you
think who I haven't picked on in a minute.
Oh,
Allie, you take this one? Okay, tell me what I would do.
You would do 8
Okay, so keep, change, flip. All right, tell me what all you can simplify here
10 5,
to get.
1
Okay, what else?
and then
Do you see any variables on the top that could simplify with any variable on the bottom?
I thought that was.
What, Allie? They're B's, not 6.
That's what I got.
Okay, say it again, Allie. Okay. All right, so now you're going to multiply what's left. What's 7 times 1a? 7a. All over what? Very good. Okay. All right, how do we feel about today's?
Okay.
Not too bad. Okay, hey, listen carefully while you're writing this down. Okay? Can you use keep, change, flip if you have a whole number?
If you're what now?
If you have a whole number, can you, hey,
No.
I'm gonna wait because some people are talking over me.
Actually, yeah, you can. First, you need to make.
Hey, wait, listen to my question. Kai, can you use keep, change, flip if you have a whole number?
Yes. No.
No, you have to have what first?
No, a fraction.
A fraction. Can you use it if you have a mixed number? No. You can only use that if you have fractions first.
What if you have? I said yes because I thought you just meant. Hunter, you
Like
have a word
press,
together.
yeah.